everyone, this is Gilmer, and I know that at the end of my last video I promised to do almost another one immediately, but then I got very sick. I think I had food poisoning, I had a temperature, I had a fever for about the last 5 hours. I'm feeling 100% better now, but I just wanted to say that's why I didn't immediately post another. Plus I did about a 45-minute third episode, and of course I lost it, so I'm redoing it. And we've already executed turn 2, and what happened in turn 2 was we captured Luxembourg with Edward de Castelnau. So now what I'm going to do is move Edward de Castelnau up to Trier, which is an objective of mine. And one of the things I'm going to do, one of the other things I did was I made him a full army. He already had a title that said Quatrième Army, which means the 4th Army, but he wasn't a true army because he didn't have 52 command points. And let me just briefly talk about command points. An army usually has typically around 52 command points. What that means is you can actually put in 52 elements into his stack, his army, and with no malice. And what malice is, I'm going to do what this player named Narwhal did. I'm going to have kind of like a beginner's corner. So the beginner's corner starts now, and it's going to be on generals. Now what we have here are command points, and this General de Langle de Carry, Ferdinand de Langle de Carry, he can command 52 elements, and he has 50, which is still pretty good. 50 is pretty good. It's not, sorry about that, it's not the best, obviously. You want 52, but it's pretty close. So then what I did, when I'm in my planning stage, is I'm going to move 2 corps up to Luxembourg to protect it from this stack if this decides to move to Luxembourg and try to retake it. So it's kind of like musical chairs. Edward de Castelnau gets up from his chair and sits down in a chair over by Trier, and then these 2 corps go to Luxembourg and sit down in their chairs. So it's just one of those things. One of the other things I've done is, I thought I bought a munitions plant, but I guess I didn't. One of the other things I've done is I've actually ordered some, I can't find them. Maybe I didn't order them. Maybe that's the turn I lost and I reloaded, but either way, I'm going to order some troops, and this is the order screen for your troops. And what I want to do is just want to add France. The other one is France, their Northern African colonies, and so you can actually buy these colonial brigades and place them down in, I'm not really sure, I think it's one of these, or it could be, actually it could be over here. This is Africa. It could be here that I could buy and actually put, I don't see it here, wait a minute, I could buy them in Afrique Française, which is Dakar, and give them a little more troops, which is what I think I'll do. I am going to buy beef up these defenses because Germany has a very excellent general. He's something like a 5.66, and that is a very, very high values. The first number is strategic, the second number is offense, and the third number is defense. So 7, I think, is the highest I've ever seen. So 5, 6, and 6 is very, very good, and he just runs them up down here until you can build up your forces. Great Britain joins, and once they join, there's a general down here named Jan C. Smuts, who's a very good general. So that will offset what the Germans are doing. Another thing I wanted to point out that when I was doing diplomacy is that I am trying to get Portugal to enter in on the Western Entente side. And the reason that is because they have Angola and Mozambique. And once Great Britain joins, I will be able to isolate this strategic colony. So that's what I want to do. I want to take that colony and get the national morale points for it. So anyway, I think one other thing I like to talk about generals is this little envelope here that has wax on it, and it's yellow or orange or whatever it looks to you. That means, and you can mouse over it, the commander of the stack is not activated this turn. The force can't perform offensive actions, some special orders are not allowed, and it will move slowly. The stack receives 24 command points from your leaders and needs 12 to operate at full capacity. And so if this guy was active, I could you would see a white envelope here and it would be open. And what you need what you need your generals to be active for is so that you can actually take assault posture or offensive posture. And I think you can do every one of these rules in engagement, but this is the big one because you're on the defensive. And so now if you move into a German controlled area, they automatically, I think, become active regardless of their general not being active that turn. They are automatically flipped to being active. Okay, let's see. One other thing I want to do is in the diplomacy screen, I mentioned the munitions, and I think I talked about munitions. To not run out of munitions like historically happened, you need to build a few of these. You don't have to build a whole bunch, but you want to build a few, maybe 6 or 7, so that you always have artillery for your artillery ammunition for your medium and heavy artillery. So I'm going to actually buy one and buy it here in the Angiers region. Sorry if I mispronounced that, but I just don't really care too much at this point. I'm not feeling 100%. So if we look here, state funds have been raised in France, but at a cost of alignment, morale, and inflation. And that's your normal penalties. I've never seen it really hurt you to print state funds. I've done it 4 or 5 times in another game, and inflation comes down eventually if you leave it alone, so it's not that big of a deal. And then it said one of my ambassadors had, oh yeah, here we go. Decision to send a diplomat in region Japan was unsuccessful. And what that means is I just have to play it again. And what I want to do is get Japan into the war very quickly because, just as quickly as Great Britain, because Japan will be my presence in the Pacific, and they can take several colonies from Germany over there, which are strategic as well, and give us more money. Okay, so have I completely and utterly confused you to the extent that you still don't know what you're doing, or let me know. I don't know, because I'll certainly describe some things more if you want me to. One thing I will note is that the Ottoman Empire is very, very large. And down here, when Great Britain joins, down here we have Kuwait, and up here, that's India, that's Bombay. There are some troops up here that I will be able to use some transports that are already here to bring them down here and take Basra and maybe make a push up through here. If you don't at least reinforce Kuwait, Turkey will take it. So it's one of those things that you really want to pay attention to, because it's no fun getting that surprise, oh shit, what happened when they take Kuwait. It's really an annoying thing. These icons are, it says railroad not constructed will be possible from 1916 if your side controls all regions on the line track between Port Said and El Arish. Okay, so I won't be able to move troops by rail up through here, and I'm just going to have to basically just walk them up through there, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with that. It's a sideshow theater, but you still lose a little bit of national morale if you lose Kuwait. So anyway, one thing I want to do is actually moving him closer to Joffrey, because, and it's not King Joffrey like from Game of Thrones. It's Joffrey, a French, a well-known French general. And this guy, I'm going to move him. Let's see if moving him by rail does anything. That's very loud. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to get him closer to Joffrey so that I can get into a true army of Cinquième Armée. And as you can tell, he is active. And he only has 28 command points because he's not a true army. So there seems to be something else. I was going to talk about the victory screen, but I'll leave that off for another turn. This turn is really going a lot longer than I would hope it had gone, and I'm feeling a little faint. I'm still not completely 100%. So my name is Gilmer, and this is my Let's Play of To End All Wars, and I appreciate you watching. And if you like it, press like. If you dislike it, you can press dislike, but in the comments, give me some pointers to make better. This is just my third video, so if you're going to criticize me, at least do it constructively and explain what I'm doing wrong. And if it sounds like a good idea, I'll start trying to do it. So anyway, I am going to leave you for now, and have a good night.